In June 2017, NASA announced the discovery of 10 new Earth-like planets. In August, they added 4 more to this list. At present, we know of thousands of exoplanets outside of our solar system, and a startling number of these seem to be extremely similar in composition to our own planet Earth. So, let's take a look at some of our closest planetary doppelgangers as we investigate 5 Earth-like worlds and what it's like to live on them. B. When the discovery of Kepler 452b was announced in July 2015, its incredible similarity to our planet led it to being dubbed Earth's cousin. And for any of you watching from a rural area, no, that does not mean we can have sex with it. Kepler 452b, or K-Bubs for short, orbits a sun-like star 1,400 light-years out called Kepler 452, also known as Coruscant. This rocky super-Earth exists in the habitable zone of its star, making it possible that liquid water exists on its surface. Its average surface temperature would be only slightly warmer than Earth's, and its star would appear to be roughly the same size and distance away as our own sun. But we also think that Kepler 452b's skies are covered in thick, misty clouds almost all the time. Imagine a spectacular summer's day in Britain, and you've got the picture. There's a 50-50 chance that K-Bubs is rocky, and if so, it should enjoy large amounts of volcanic activity due to its mass, being 60% wider and 5 times more massive than our own planet. In fact, astronomers and physicists are united in their belief that Kepler 452b offers us an eerie glimpse into the future, with this planet looking exactly like Earth would if it ever got married. And terra firma isn't the only one putting on some weight. If you lived on this planet, you'd feel twice as heavy while walking around. You would eventually adapt to this as your bones got stronger, but at first it'd feel like you're on some kind of horrible workout planet. So I guess if you want to get ripped, just spend a few months here. If you don't mind traveling for 26 million years to get here. Yeah, fat chance. My own gym is around the corner and I've been there, -7 times. Number 4, Kepler 438b. Kepler 438b lies 470 light-years away in the constellation Lyra, and in a total disk to our own solar system, it has been described as a cooler version of Venus. This Earth-like world sits in the Goldilocks zone of its parent star, which may allow for the presence of liquid water. However, to call this place habitable is a bit of a stretch, unless you're a fan of radioactive everything and constant daily tumors, which I am not. Kepler 438b has the highest score on the Earth Similarity Index at 0.88, being only slightly larger and a tad more massive than Earth. It also has an equilibrium temperature close to that of our own homeworld. Unfortunately, life is unlikely to exist here due to the fact that Kepler 438b is subjected to violent bursts of radiation every 100 days. Kepler 438b orbits a super-flaring red dwarf star 6 times closer than our own orbit of the Sun, making its years last around 35.2 days. This would give you 10 times more birthdays than here on Earth, but such a tight orbit has a downside. Kepler 438b is likely tidally locked to its star, meaning that only one side receives heat and radiation, whereas the other is perpetually frozen. And as any man who frequently uses a laptop will tell you, constant proximity to radiation can render you completely sterile. No life forms we know of could possibly have developed here, and if you want to pay a visit, you're going to need some sun cream, snow boots, and a hazmat suit. Number 3. Gliese 581g. Our previous entry, Kepler 438b, had a score of 0.88 on the Earth Similarity Index. Gliese 581g has a score of 0.89, making it more Earth-like than any other planet we've ever found. The only problem is, we're not certain that Gliese 581g exists. Gliese 581g was thought to have been discovered in September 2010 within the Gliese 581 system just 20 light-years from Earth. Initial observations indicate it has 2.2 times Earth's mass, exists within the Goldilocks zone, and is tidally locked, just like the last guy. It has also been speculated to have a dense atmosphere, with this feature helping to circulate heat and render more of the planet hospitable. Depending on the composition of this atmosphere, the planet's surface temperatures could be the same or slightly lower than they are here on Earth. Such possibilities have led its principal discoverer, Professor Stephen Vogt, to make the astonishing claim that Gliese 581g has a 100% chance of supporting life. However, further analysis is needed to confirm that this world exists, let alone supports life. Other planets in this system have been considered habitable before, only for it to later transpire that they are in fact fiery death worlds. As an addendum, you may be interested to know that Professor Vogt has informally named this planet as Zamina's World, after his wife. So if it does exist, some broad with a weird name owns it. And if it doesn't exist, I guess the professor will have to buy his wife an actual birthday present instead. Number 2. Proxima b. Proxima Centauri b is the closest Earth-like exoplanet known to mankind, as it orbits within the habitable zone of the red dwarf Proxima Centauri in a triple star system just 4.2 light-years away. What makes this world particularly exciting is that this is the one place on this list that we may be able to visit within our lifetimes, albeit using tiny unmanned nanocraft powered by lasers. The Breakthrough Starshot Initiative aims to launch a mission towards nearby Alpha Centauri sometime in the 2030s, reaching the system in around 20 years and sending data back in 4. This mission will now likely be amended to include a flyby of Proxima Centauri B due to the excitement over its discovery back in August 2016. We don't know the specifics of Proxima Centauri B's orbit or mass yet, but we do know it exists within its star's habitable zone. Its orbit could take as few as 11 days to complete, but even with this close proximity, there's a 10% chance that this world has a thick layer of ice hydrogen covering its surface. Conversely, there's a 100% chance of seeing a badass triple star formation in the sky each night. This artist's impression shows the view from the surface of Proxima Centauri B of the stars Proxima Centauri and the double system Alpha Centauri AB. Your view of this beautiful night sky would be helped by the fact that even when facing the sun, days on this planet, which last 86 Earth days, never get brighter than twilight. So I guess the only things preventing you or any other life experiencing such a picturesque portrait of the cosmos would be the constant radiation bursts from its nearby star, or the stellar winds 2,000 times more powerful than those felt by Earth. Yeah, these things could definitely ruin a midnight picnic. Number 1. Kepler 62f. When Kepler 62f was discovered in 2013, it was considered of such importance that the U.S. House of Representatives convened to formally discuss further exploration of exoplanets. And when members of Congress can be bothered to get off their asses, you know we found something important. Kepler 62f is 1.4 times the size of Earth, and it orbits a red dwarf once every 267 days at a distance similar to Venus, with this being potentially far enough to avoid lethal doses of radiation, while close enough for liquid water to form. How much water? Bucket loads. Data models, run based on what we know so far, indicate that Kepler 62f is a literal water world. You know, like the Kevin Costner movie, Dances with Wolves. And what's even more exciting is that Kepler 62f may have a friend, Kepler 62e, which is also Earth-like and potentially habitable. These planets are around 1,200 light-years away, and both are likely covered from tip to toe in liquid water. But according to a recent study by the Royal Astronomical Society, this is not unusual.
Reality, consciousness, brains. What else is there? Ask yourself that question. Perhaps that's all there really is, but perhaps everything else is found within a place where these ideas, these things, overlap. Some thing, some place that is undefinable. To many people, altering certain chemicals in their brains produces what they would simply call hallucinations. In fact, what we're going to discuss specifically used to be called the businessman's trip, as one could enjoy it. Come down and put your pants back on in the time it takes to eat lunch. It wasn't taken seriously, well, unless of course you started digging. And some people, including us, did. Already though, to many people, this chemical is special amongst others. Very special. To them it represents something more meaningful and incredible, as if it's the gateway to the next level of consciousness. The ticket to a higher reality barely explored by most humans. It is the entry point to a new reality, visited by only a select few, whose minds have become enlightened through the use of this exotic substance. For this reason, it's commonly referred to as the spirit molecule. But is its reputation as a mystical mind-opener deserved? Or is it, and everything it represents, just a load of bullshit? We look at, investigate, and dive deeply into nearly all available research regarding this question, from nearly every angle feasible. And in the course of doing so, stumble upon unexplainable patterns, correlations, and neurological evidence for a reality existing beyond this one.